she asked. I asked it over. The tower master, the ruler of the top floor, has been defeated. You have cleared the conditions for the epic quest, she thought. I did it. I'm finally done, the ghost exclaimed. I can't believe that I've been defeated by a human. This is impossible. A strong commotion erupted. The girl, frightened, drew her sword from its sheath. The ghost shouted. My great plan isn't finished yet. The girl glared at the ghost. Hey, you were defeated. Great plan? You've got to be kidding me. If it's world domination, I'm not gonna let you die with dignity. Seriously. Try to have some imagination. The Queen of Waves and Healing expressed her disappointment. Will you now return to your own world? The ruthless blood leader teared up. She asked. Why are you crying? You're being silly. We've gone through so many lives together. Haven't you seen enough? I say it's about time we parted ways, the ruler of temptation rebuked. How could you say that? She sighed. I mean, we're old now. I'd like to go home and relax. My puppy is waiting for me back home. My Maltese Cerberus must be sick with worry, the Queen of Waves and Healing pointed out. When you go back, time will continue from the moment you left, so your puppy does not know how much time has passed. She hesitated. You're right. I'm the one who's been waiting. I miss my puppy so much, the ghost roared. I will make you pay for this, human. The girl clenched her sword. You don't know when to quit, do you? Take your revenge out on the author for their lack of creativity, not on me, the ghost spat. You have broken my age-old wish, so I, too, shall ruin your most powerful desire, she scoffed. If you're gonna die, save your stupid curses and just croak already, the girl yelled. Do you have any idea how many people you've killed? An age-old wish? You've gotta be kidding me. You think other people don't have that? Die, you piece of sh*t, the ghost gasped. In the next life, my wish shall come true. There, you will forever be, she cut him off. There isn't gonna be a next life, the ruthless blood leader cursed the tower master with scathing expletives. The Queen of Waves and Healing strongly criticized him. The ruler of temptation yelled. Instead of being destroyed, he should be used as kindling in hell. She struck him down and sighed. Forget it. I'm just glad I've completed the quest. He can curse me all he wants. I've already won. The Queen of Waves and Healing complimented her wisdom. The ruler of temptation smirked. I can give you 100 more dreams about your puppy, the ruthless blood leader casually suggested. I could become your dog instead, she snapped. Stop trying to tempt me. Not a chance. Act your age, old man, the ruthless blood leader protested. I'm not old. I've regressed into a child's body, she rolled her eyes. So what? You and I have lived for over 500 years, the ruthless blood leader turned his back. Just go receive your quest reward, she nodded. Right, I don't want to delay things any further. Time for my completion and your eternal rest. Status window. Give me my reward. Urgent system notification. Due to an error in the system, we are undergoing a sudden update. We thank our users for their patience, she gasped. What? I've never seen this notification before. Status window. Q quest window. The status window cannot be opened at this time. The quest window cannot be opened at this time, she panicked. Then what about my reward? Am I going to get it? What kind of bullshit is this? Give me my reward now! Send me home! A system message appeared. The S-Class Hunter gets stronger with every return is really fun. Would you like to enjoy Alub's new work, What Happens When an S-Class Hunter Turns into a Villainous Lady? She narrowed her eyes. How come it has such an ominous title? She thought. I thought I was going to die, she asked. What? What is that supposed to mean? Our apologies to Kim Yum. Due to a system error, we will not be able to give you the promised quest reward. Instead, you will be provided with an even better reward. You are now about to enter the heroine of Alub's next work, What Happens When an S-Class Hunter Turns into a Villainous Lady. This novel is also very fun, and you are sure to enjoy it a lot. She gripped her sword. Call the person in charge. Please enjoy. What happens when an S-class hunter turns into a villainous lady? As well, she waved her sword furiously. I said call the author. As soon as she struck the sword, a blinding light shone in her eyes. You are now entering. What happens when an S-class hunter turns into a villainous lady? Ironblood Marquis, the greatest family of swordsmen in the Ramdisha Empire. Among the dukes, they are the empire's only house that made a name for themselves through advanced swordsmanship. House Marquis, which has continuously generated sword masters for hundreds of years, is currently facing a crisis that may bring their family to ruin. The empire's only saint and the fiancée of the crown prince, Lady Leanne Caris, has disappeared on the outskirts of House Marquis' estate. Moreover, the number one suspect is the shame of House Marquis, the abandoned lady, the empire's worst villainess, Renée Marquis, the only daughter of Duke Marquis. We're under attack! There's an intruder in the dungeons! Anti-Marquis shouted. Everyone, prepare for an attack! Anti-Marquis, son of Duke Marquis, commanded. The intruder seems quite powerful, but there only seems to be one of them. We'll attack together on the count of 3. 1, 2, Kirill Marquis waved his sword. 3, Gah, this dungeon smells terrible! Kirill groaned. Auntie. Is that who I think it is? Renée Marquis asked. Huh! What are you all doing here? Well, good morning, Renée greeted with a smirk. Renée, Auntie Marquis said suspiciously. Tell us the truth. Who got you out of that dungeon? I'm telling you, it was me. Those bars were so easy to break, Renée said, crossing her arms. She thought to herself, seriously, how many times are they going to ask the same question? Come on, I have to go complete the quest. A maid brought her a new dress. No one could have used that kind of force. You better give us the name of your ally right now, Auntie demanded. Renée sighed. He's so loud. Did your accomplice kill Lady Leanne? Did you hire him to kill her? Auntie continued pressing her. Something didn't feel right. Why are the NPC status windows breaking up? She thought. Renée, are you even listening to me? Auntie shouted. She's clearly not hearing a word you're saying, Kirill observed. Renée cursed under her breath. Damn it, even with the status window breaking up, I can tell their affinity for me is rock bottom. I was hoping I'd be the beloved youngest. Oh, I've already cleared the quest. What kind of sub-quest could be waiting for me next? I'm used to this. I have to improve these bastards' affinity for me and my rock-bottom reputation? Renée muttered. What are you talking about? Auntie asked, raising an eyebrow. Never mind. Renée smiled. But thank you for your concern, she thought to herself. Don't forget the affinity. I've got to control myself and make them like me. Worry? You must be out of your mind. Auntie scoffed. I told you it would be safer to keep her in the underwater dungeon. Kirill muttered. Renée looked at her brothers. Okay, I'd better give up on these guys and focus on improving my reputation. Anyway, I'm asking because I'm not sure what's going on. But why do you two think I killed the saint? Like you don't know why. You're the one that went around every day saying that you were going to kill Lady Leanne. Now she's gone missing in our family's territory. The entire world believes not even a confession is going to guarantee that we can bring back our family's honor. That's why we locked you up. But you just had to find a way to get yourself out, didn't you? Auntie shouted angrily. Auntie, calm down. If she gets even the slightest scar, Father will. Kirill warned. How long are you going to tarnish our family name, Renée? Auntie demanded. All right, I understand what you're saying, Renée replied calmly. But is there any evidence? Did you find the body? The tea was hot. How is she all right? Kirill exclaimed. You probably hid the body and got rid of all the evidence. That's why you're so confident, Auntie accused. That means you haven't found anything yet, Renée pointed out smugly. Kirill hesitated. Well, we don't have any concrete evidence, but you are the only suspect. There's no one else who could be the murderer. That's right. Have you calmed down? It's hard to imagine anyone even disliking Lady Leanne. So if you didn't do it, who would have killed such a kind-hearted person? Auntie pressed. My lord! Leanne's voice suddenly rang out in his memory. It's not too late. If you confess and tell us where the body is, His Highness the Crown Prince will not declare the family guilty by association. You know father has gone to the Imperial Palace to protect our house's dignity, so if you have any conscience, please confess. Auntie pleaded. The Crown Prince? Why is the Crown Prince involved and not the Emperor? Renee asked, narrowing her eyes. What's with that reaction? I said the Crown Prince is leading this case. Have you hurt your head? Kirill asked, confused. Renee paused. Wait, why is he so involved? Normally, investigations like this. Are you still deluding yourself by thinking that His Highness will fall for you? Kirill sneered. Oh, so that's the premise. It's been 3 years since His Highness got engaged to Lady Liane. Stop thinking you have a chance with him, Renee. Auntie added. He's right. Please stop embarrassing our family. Aren't you sick of this unrequited love? Kirill scoffed. So that's what's going on. Renee was so in love with the Crown Prince that she tried several times to kill his fiancée. Could she have actually succeeded this time? What a plan. It's so cliché that it's not even worth thinking about. But something isn't right here, Renee thought to herself. The quest window said Renee was being framed for murder, not that she actually killed her. The system may not have any conscience or shame, but I know it doesn't lie, because a novel does not lie to its readers. However, it can intentionally conceal information. Then who really killed her? All right, I understand the gist of what's happening here. Now I need you to listen to me, Renee said firmly. Are you going to confess? Auntie asked. No. But that Lady Liane, is it? She could have left on her own accord. There she goes again. Auntie muttered. You said there's no body? That just means she's gone, Renee stated. Renee, if you have a brain, just think. Lady Liane is expected to marry the Crown Prince a month from now. What reason could she possibly have to run off and disappear? Auntie argued. A wedding. Then that makes it even more likely. Don't you think she could have run away because she didn't want to get married? Renee smirked. Do you think a saint would be as fickle as you are? Do not equate Lady Liane with the likes of you. Auntie snapped. How can you be so narrow-minded? Lord Auntie, you're not going to make any great accomplishments with a small-minded outlook like that. Renee teased. 1 month. Give me 1 month to prove my innocence. 1 month. Give me 1 month to prove my innocence, Renee said. What? As if you're capable of accomplishing anything. Auntie scoffed. Don't be like that. Put your faith in me for once, Renee insisted. Aha, I know. Kirill chuckled, finding the whole situation funny. Renee smirked. You're just scared that I might be right, aren't you? Fine. If you can prove your innocence, I swear on my name that I will do anything you ask, Auntie said. It's a deal. Kirill, you're our witness, Renee declared. Oh, sure, Kirill replied. Yes. I've been waiting for this. Oh, this is going to increase Kirill's affinity? But the problem is this one right here. How come it won't increase his affinity? I can't believe proving his little sister's innocence has no effect on how he likes me. What kind of character background is he hiding? Renee wondered. I look forward to your cooperation during this month, Renee said. You don't need to thank me. It might be wise to start preparing for your failure, Auntie warned. Sure. Thank you for your concern, she replied. Kirill observed. She seems kind of different. Auntie, what's wrong? Auntie thought to himself. I had no intention of shaking hands with her, but I couldn't avoid her grip. I can't believe a top-ranking, expert sword master like myself was unable to avoid the hand of a mere civilian. In fact, I couldn't even feel anything as I took her hand. No malice, no kindness. Just nothing. But just a moment ago, I drew my sword. All she did was reach out her hand, so why? What are you? Renee sighed. What am I gonna do now? I don't have enough information. It's not like I can make a move based on zero knowledge. Maybe I should start by recruiting an informant. There's got to be at least one person who's friendly toward me in this huge manner, she thought. All right. I should start by getting information from someone. Excuse me, my lady? A maid interrupted. If you have time to talk nonsense, why don't you go change into a different dress? She must have spilled tea on herself, another maid added. Please stop tarnishing the reputation of this duchy. Please don't stop me to ask these pointless questions, my lady. I'm quite busy, geez. What kind of person was this Renee character anyway? How could she be treated like this even by the servants? You should stay put and stop causing so much trouble, a voice snapped. On top of that, everyone I meet shows a negative affinity score. I guess it can't be helped. Are you even listening to me? Renee huffed. Fine. I'll give up on finding an informant here, but I must say this, then can you at least tell me how to get to my room? Honestly, this manor is way too big. I'm lost, Renee admitted. We're here, my lady, a maid replied. Yeah. You can go now. Renee sighed. My room is a lot better than I thought it would be based on the way they treat me. Nice. I'll start by changing out of this uncomfortable dress. What? Renee's eyes widened. Look at all this expensive-looking stuff. I knew the Duke's family would have a lot of money, but I didn't think they'd spend this much on an embarrassment like me. With financial clout like this, it might be easy to just buy an informant. To be honest, it'd be easy for me to create a henchman. I just need the magic of the ruthless blood leader, and the skill of the ruler of temptation. Unfortunately, their stats are being calibrated right now. In one of my past lives, I was killed during battle when one of my skills became undone. So I ought to use them as little as I can. Right now, I'm not sure if I can just kill everything like I used to, or even return if I get killed. I have to move carefully. First, I should confirm whether the saint is really dead. This is a case without a corpse, no evidence, or any witnesses. That means no one knows if the saint ran away, went missing, or was killed. If she's alive, I need her testimony. But if she's dead, I ought to catch her killer to complete the quest. If I resolve the situation one step at a time, I may be able to leave this world at some point. Water Lady, can you find the saint's location? I think I could get that for you. Renee asked. The ruthless blood leader asked, can't we just frame the murder on someone else? The ruler of temptation grinned. That's my forte. Do you know how dangerous that is? Renee snapped. It seems like there are people here with divine powers. If you do that, I'd bet old man Temptation will be the first to get caught. I think I need to get out of here. I'll never be able to find an informant in this place, no matter how much money I spend. Oh, come on. Dangerous? For me? The ruler of temptation scoffed. But seriously, I hope I can find someone to help me. Oh, that's a good idea, but we don't know where that was, do we? Renee sighed. But it's too soon to give up in a world where even dung has its uses. Now, let's go find some anti-Marquis dung. So, you came to ask for a report that outlines the details of the case? Yes, Renee confirmed. If you don't want us to end up being the family that murdered the saint, I suggest you cooperate. How dare you? Auntie growled. Ha! I can give you the report, but only under the condition that you take some guards with you wherever you go next. Those guys? I don't need any, Renee scoffed. If you're referring to those men, I think they'll be more of a hassle. Don't you know what a condition is? Andy sighed. Fine, then I'll just take him over there. If you want someone to watch over and report on me, wouldn't you feel better sending someone you can really trust? Renee smirked. Oh, I need a carriage as well. Oof, Andy said. Wow. So this is the place where the saint was last seen? According to the report, Leanne disappeared 10 days ago, while doing some volunteer work healing the poor in an impoverished village. It's too soon to say whether this was a kidnapping or if she simply went missing, a guy asked. Ahem. Lady Renee, what brings your ladyship all the way out here? Priest Melson. Renee thought, is he the top priest or something? It looks like he's enjoying quite a life of luxury. Does he take bribes? But why is that book so shiny? Renee said. I came in search of the truth, so you'd better cooperate, a guy asked. The truth? Another man asked. Didn't they say she's the culprit? Are you claiming there is a different perpetrator? Renee said. It is not a claim but a fact. I didn't kill the saint. You don't even have any evidence or witnesses pointing to me as the culprit, and I'm sure you're not competent enough to have found her. I'm just trying to say that we should join forces and work together. She thought, that's right. I'm going to take your information and investigate this all by myself, a guy said. Her ladyship is right, another man said. As long as we can find her holiness, Priest Melson said. But why should we trust your ladyship? Renee asked. Oh, would you look at that? He must be the kind of guy who doesn't move without proper motivation. Oh dear, you must doubt my sincerity, the original Renee's jewels. Since you're going through something very distressing, I thought I'd bring you some donations to lift your spirits, Priest Melson stammered. This is. I am sorry for doubting you. What else would you like us to help you with? She asked. Do you have anything that belonged to Leanne Caris? Preferably, something she's had for a long time. Oh, then these scriptures are just what you're looking for. They were hers, she thought. Oh, that's why it's glowing with divine energy, Melson said. Is there anything else you might need? She asked. Look how helpful he is now that I paid him. I would like to see the tent where Lady Leanne stayed. Where is it? It's clean, simple, and frugal, she asked. It's almost like she's showing off her saintliness, a knight said. My lady, she replied. Yes, the knight said. About the donation, Renee said. Why, is there a problem? Thanks to it, I was able to get her book, the knight asked. No, it's not that. I thought your ladyship hated the religious order, especially after the incident with the high priest. She thought, what is he talking about? She asked. What incident? The knight said. Oh, forgive me. I'm sure it's not something your ladyship wishes to remember, Renee asked. No, please continue. I've done so many awful things that I don't seem to remember that one, the knight said. When the high priest announced Lady Leanne as the saint, your ladyship got up from your seat and threw champagne at his face, she asked. Never mind, say no more, the knight thought. This girl had an intense life, he asked. But I remember what you said then, Renee asked. You said you were enraged, but not because of her holiness. You said that the high priest molested you, so that's what happened. Still, no one believed Renee, and what the high priest did was forgotten, the knight asked. Was that also a misunderstanding? Renee replied. Believe what you want. That's what everyone does anyway. They think whatever they want and cover up everything that doesn't agree with them. No one listens to anyone with a bad reputation. I'll take a look around here while you stand guard outside, a guard said. Yes, my lady, in my past life, the life before that, and throughout countless returns, I've seen this happen over and over. I'm sure it will happen again in the future. In a situation like this, the truth doesn't matter. The truth is what people want to hear. What they don't want to hear is treated like lies. I can't trust anyone's words but my own. As long as I'm here, I am Renee. Who in this world could trust me more than myself? No matter what kind of suspicions or false accusations shroud my name, I will trust Renee. So what if she really was bad? If the world sees me as a bad person, I'll be that bad person for them. Renee, I'll listen to what you have to say. I, Renee Marquis, promise to never doubt Renee Marquis. Lady Renee Marquis came here? Melson said. Yes, she said she is conducting an investigation to prove her innocence, Seaton said. I didn't think the Crown Prince would send him of all people, Seaton answered. He gained the title of Mercenary King at the age of 20. He is the head of the Sarah Guild, the greatest mercenary guild in the entire continent, as well as one of only 2 sword masters in the Empire. He is called the Light of the Ramdisha Empire, and countless great names, Melson said. Then again, only someone like him would be competent enough to handle a case like this, Seaton said. So she's going to prove her innocence. Do you believe that? It's not that I believe her, but there might have been some trouble from her side if we didn't give her a chance. I'm sure he took a bribe. I'm not even surprised. I'm more surprised by the fact that the Renee Marquis came to investigate this herself. Considering her personality, she must have been quite desperate. I have heard many rumors about her. They say she cut off all the hair of Viscountess Kelsey's daughter, Renee said. Oh my, let me help you! Poisoned the Crown Prince's tea so she could treat him. Why, your holiness! And she tripped the saint. Of course, there are some things about these rumors that don't add up. However, that's not my problem, Seaton said. You must refrain from giving her any more information, especially the fact that there is a witness, Melson said. Pardon? But why? Seaton said. It's a direct order from the Crown Prince, Melson said. Yes, of course, Seaton said. More importantly, I shall go and meet this lady. What the? Did someone poison him? No, said Seaton. He collapsed without any warning, thinking I didn't sense any magic either. This is the aura of an incubus. Seaton kept thinking, even as a sore master, I can barely stay standing. This force is equal to that of a high-ranking demon, ghost. Who could have summoned a demon this strong, in a place surrounded by priests? I can feel it. Whoever this is must be more powerful than the Crown Prince. In this world, where everything is uncertain and unstable, there was only one thing that sustained Seaton and Sirad. The only thing that helped this war orphan, who could have died at any moment, survive, was power. That is why, like a faithful devotee, he sought and desired nothing but power. He was hailed as the king of mercenaries for establishing the greatest mercenary guild on the whole continent, and he rallied them to amass great wealth and power, and yet, he couldn't stop thirsting for power. It felt like he was looking up at the bright sun from inside of a dried-up well. The only thing that could relieve his undying thirst was a power that could overwhelm even the Crown Prince, the most powerful man on the continent. But the more he desired this, the more Seaton felt a sense of emptiness about everything. Seaton thinking, everyone has fallen asleep. This is not the work of a single incubus. I can sense the aura most strongly, over there by the saint's tent, Seaton asks. Wait, how strange. I've never felt a presence like this before. Not only is it far stronger than I am, but it is also far greater than any human power imaginable. Is this not what you call a cataclysmic force of nature? No one would dare to compare this to the likes of the Crown Prince, and I couldn't destroy it even if I tried. I can't miss an opportunity like this. I must find out who this is. Everything I have accomplished so far was to no purpose. Becoming stronger is the only thing that gives me satisfaction, to feel more alive, Seaton asks. Reveal yourself. Ugh, and he puts his sword up, she asks. Now, who's this little kitten? A moment ago, Renee asked. Ugh, what am I going to do? They've sealed half of the Astra's skills. I bet we'll have to unlock them by completing quests. It's so annoying. Yeesh, I guess I should be happy with what I've got. It's not like I have a tower to climb, Renee said. Water Lady, please start locating the saint with this book. Gramps, are you able to summon incubi by any chance? Would it be difficult because we're surrounded by priests? The ruler of temptation angrily says not to underestimate him, Renee asks. All right then. Then let's have the priests take a quick nap. Back to the present, Renee asks. He's so pretty. He reminds me of my neighbor's cat from a long time ago. Was its name Raven? The Queen of Waves and Healing enjoys Seaton and Sirad's beauty with you. She thinks there's something about his eyes that I really like. The ruthless blood leader says you have an unchanging preference for beautiful people, Renee asks. Well, that's perfectly understandable. Why? The ruler of temptation teases, saying that he saw Renee admiring the incubi when he summoned them, and that she clearly has a thing for beauty. She thinks, nonsense. The ruler of temptation sends you delay eternal sleep for 100 years as a private message, shoutedly, the ruler of temptation. You used to say that I was the most handsome Astra ever, and now you're going to mute me? Renee, covering her ears with both hands, said. 8. Quiet! Fine, I'll unmute you. She thinks this Astra must have lost his mind. He's sending me a private message for that? Then she asks. Come on, let's try to focus. We need to decide what we're going to do with him. The ruler of temptation mutters that he doesn't like the man since he was the last one to fall asleep. He has pretty strong stats. No wonder the incubi had a hard time with him. Renee said. The ruler of temptation suggests you should just kill him now, Renee said. We'll keep him alive for now. I actually like him. He's the first one that didn't have negative affinity toward Renee. That's right. He's got a pretty face, and he's also cute and gentle. Plus, he looks like he would be very docile. The Queen of Waves and Healing watches with great interest. From his affinity, I don't think he'd be the kind to make judgments based solely on what other people tell him. The Ruthless Blood Leader gets an uneasy feeling. All his titles tell me he would have access to a lot of information. And being a sore master, we don't have to worry about him getting killed somewhere. The Ruler of Temptation senses a cruel plan in the making. All right. I've made my decision, Renee said. From this moment on, you're mine, the Ruthless Blood Leader asks. What do you mean by that? Renee said. I mean exactly what I'm saying. I'm going to make him my underling. He'd make the perfect pet, human companion. The Ruthless Blood Leader adamantly threatens to start sulking if you don't kill him right this instant, Renee said. Do what you will. By the way, Gramps, did you find anything? The Ruler of Temptation sends you a report from the incubi, Renee said. There's not much here. Wait, there was a witness? The Ruler of Temptation sends you information about the witness. Malson, thinking, would you look at that? There was a witness, yet they didn't tell me. They took everything I gave them and still kept silent. She thinks I'm so mad. To think that it was all under the orders of the Crown Prince and this guy. I didn't mean to. R.P. Nosebridge. The Ruler of Temptation scoffs, saying that won't be enough to kill him. The Ruthless Blood Leader agrees, saying he's right about that for once. She asks, guys? The Queen of Waves and Healing rebukes them, saying the face of a human companion is very important. The Ruler of Temptation claims that it's okay because he is more handsome anyway. Renee asks, guys, can you stop and listen? The Ruthless Blood Leader shakes his head like he is sick and tired. Renee said, Ugh, am I going to have to block all of you? I'm going to let Water Lady off the hook because she has to help me heal him. Renee asks, I didn't mean to break his nose, so I'll fix it this time. But just know that I'm going to have a Raven. A sound is coming. Come on, wake up. You've angered your master, and it's time to be punished. Seaton thinking. Master? What's this all about? The sound. Starting today, I am your master. If you don't wake up, I'm going to punish you. Seaton thinking. Punish? What does that mean? Who is this? Seaton. UGH. Why does my nose hurt? Seaton woke up and thought. That reminds me, that aura. What happened to it? Renee. I see you're finally awake. Seaton. Lady Renee Marquis. Renee. So you know who I am. Have we met before? Seaton. And no, we haven't, she replied. I thought so. She's nothing like the rumors say. Can you please take a step back, my lady? She asked. You remember me, don't you, Seaton? I beg your pardon. I mean, you recognize this presence, she thought. When did her hand? Renee thinking. Wait, this feeling, Seaton thinking. My lady, it was you, Renee thinking. Yes. I'm the one you were looking for, Seaton. Then you summoned those high-ranking demons, Renee. Oh my. Your stats showed a high wisdom score, but you're rather dull, aren't you, Seaton? Stats, Renee. I asked that why you were always so obedient to the Crown Prince, little Raven, Seaton. Raven? Renee thinking. I know there's a witness. Why wasn't that made public, Seaton? I have no idea what you're talking about, Renee. Let's not waste each other's time here. I just met the witness and heard everything. I know what the saint did before she disappeared. And who ordered for it to be covered up, Renee. But what really irks me is that you all concealed it and pretended it never happened. The saint wasn't kidnapped. She left on her own accord. That means there was no reason for me to be locked up in a dungeon, Seaton. The Crown Prince. He speculated that Her Holiness left because you threatened her, Renee. This guy is a lot more obedient than I thought. I don't think he's scared, though. Don't you think he looks a little like my Cerberus, Renee? He thought that? Well, based on my prior record, that would make sense. Still, that's not what happened, Seaton. I think the Crown Prince would say otherwise. I'm sure he would. His bride Tiobe disappeared only days before their wedding. The fact that he hid the only witness in this situation means that he has either gone mad from the disappearance of his beloved Leanne and doesn't trust anyone, or he values his reputation just as much as he does his fiancée's. It's one of these two options, Seaton. You are not like how the rumors describe you at all. I heard your ladyship was in love with the crown prince for a very long time, but it sounds more like you hate him, Renee. I don't like him anymore. In fact, I do hate him, Renee. I may be a little strange, but why would I like someone who tried to frame me? Ugh. Detestable, Seaton. I see. There is one more thing I should tell you. The crown prince and the saint are seen as the world's greatest couple, but that's not true. Their engagement is merely a contractual agreement, no more and no less. It was arranged out of necessity, Renee. I knew it. Those two were never in love, were they? Wait, why are you suddenly telling me this, Seaton? Renee. In any case, if what you're saying is true, it makes perfect sense. Since they were only going to have a marriage of convenience, the crown prince would have first wanted to remove anything that pointed to him as a suspect for kidnapping and murdering his fiancée. He could also conveniently remove me, the thorn in his side, while he's at it. I've learned what I needed to know, so I should get going, Seaton. Wait, my lady! Are you a demon by any chance, Renee? What are you talking about? Of course I'm human, Seaton. How were you able to achieve that level of power with a human body? Seaton thinking. She had a power that couldn't possibly exist. That aura. No matter how I try to wrap my head around it, it's not the kind of force that can be possessed by a human. It wasn't simply strong. It felt like an incredibly dark power harboring an ancient grudge. What must a human, with their short lifespan, do to obtain such powers, Renee? Tried dying 58 times, Seaton. What, Renee? Or you could save a whole world, Seaton. I asked, she joking. But I heard you've never even wielded a sword before. Why have you been hiding your strength? With powers like yours, you could conquer the whole empire, no, the entire continent, Renee. For what? I'm not interested in that, Seaton. Of course. You must be devoted only to the way of the sword, Renee thinking. What is he going on about now? She replied. I just want to go home, Seaton. I've made up my mind, Seaton. I would like to serve your ladyship as my master, Seaton thinking. Excuse me? Excuse me, Seaton. I would like to receive your great teachings, Renee. Wait. He wants to serve me as his master? Well, Renee. In a way, Renee thinking. Over the many years I've lived, I have never had anything close to a pupil. It's hard enough trying to make it on my own. I hate the thought of having to take responsibility for someone else's life too, Renee. And now this guy I just met wants me to take him in as my pupil? Your decision has been finalized. Am I not enough? Seaton asked. Renee said. No, you're fine, Seaton thought. What's not fine is how the stingy system immediately reduced his affinity for me as soon as I rejected him. Then he asked. Then why? Renee said. I'm off then. I don't want to be responsible for someone else, Seaton asked. And my lady? Wait, she thought. Oh yikes, Renee thought. He has the same eyes as my cutie pie Cerberus does. The Queen of Waves and Healing suggests that we should at least hear him out because he's so good looking. She thought, all right then. Then she asked. Fine, go on, Seaton said. I have been in a period of stagnation. Neither grueling training, nor meeting the Crown Prince, the most powerful person on the continent, makes me feel anything. But something came alive in me the moment I saw your ladyship, Renee thought, and what would that be? Then she thought, wait, could he be? Seaton said. I want. And thought, this kid, who was born a hot second ago, wants me, who's lived through so many lifetimes. Then he asked. I want to fight you. This must be a form of competitiveness. I don't think I've ever wanted to combat with anyone more in my life, Renee thought. Which one of you Astras said we should hear him out? Then she asked. All right, I appreciate the sentiment. I really do, Seaton said. I am not asking you to accept me for nothing. If you accept me as your pupil, I will do everything I can to help you. If there's anything you need, I will get it for you, and I will execute your every command, she asked. What should I do? He would make a perfect informant, Renee said. Fine, I've made my decision. I will accept you as my pupil. Then she thought, you should thank your beautiful face for that. You have gained your first pupil. How about you do something to develop your relationship with him? Seaton said. Thank you, master, Renee asked. Ugh, that's so cringy. Why you can just keep calling me lady? All right, Renee asked. You said you would do anything to help me, right? Then let me ask you something, courtesy of Sir Martin, Seaton said. Of course, my lady. Then he thought, he's so obedient that it's almost a bit too much. Is everyone like this in the romance fantasy world? Renee said. Tell me everything you know about the Crown Prince's relationship with the saint. Oh. Are you not allowed to do that because you're under his command? Seaton said. Not at all. I don't intend to keep anything from you. And I haven't pledged allegiance to the Crown Prince. She thought, wow, I can't tell if he's a bit much or not, Renee said. Sure, then let's hear it, Seaton said. I will say this. It would be wise not to make an enemy out of the Crown Prince. After all, he does have his political position, she asked. Goodness. Are you worried about me? You're just like Cerberus, Seaton asked. Why you shouldn't take this lightly, Renee said. Don't worry. I can take care of myself, so go on. Seaton's answer only confirmed my suspicions. Saint Leanne Caris had received the favor of Belua and was thought to be the incarnation of the god. She was loved by everyone in the empire for her divine powers and upright character. The Crown Prince, who gained the strong support of the people through his engagement with the saint, tried his best not to sully their engagement. He went as far as to spill blood, to put out even the slightest signs of trouble. Then suddenly she disappeared. Moreover, someone testified that the saint had left of her own free will, Renee said. About that testimony. No matter how I wrap my head around it, something really bothers me. The youngest priest, who was the last to see her, said he was nursing Leanne while she was violently ill, just as if she was receiving some kind of revelation. He heard her talking in her sleep, saying that she had to leave, Seaton said. I must go. I have to leave, she asked. Your Holiness? Princess Leanne, sleeping, said. It's too dangerous. I have to go, a man asked. Isn't she still sleeping? It's all right, Your Holiness. His Highness, the Crown Prince, will protect you, so please rest assured, Crown Princess Leanne. No, I must go. It's too dangerous. I have to leave, the man asked. After that, the saint left while the priest had fallen asleep. This was reported to the Crown Prince, Renee said. What was so dangerous for her that she ran away in the middle of the night? Couldn't she protect herself with her divine powers? The ruthless blood leader points out that you have a skewed standard for strength. There's been no investigation. The ruler of temptation notes that if she were that strong, she wouldn't have gotten ill over a mere revelation. The Queen of Waves and Healing asks whether Renee thinks there's anyone in this nation who is stronger than her, Leanne said. Geez! All right, just be quiet for a second. Have some of this too, Renee said. Disappearing days before their wedding because they suspect danger. Most people would blame the fiancé. That is exactly the kind of situation the Crown Prince was worried about, more so because he has a rival, Renee said. What? The reply came. It's the Imperial Princess, who has great support from the Emperor and the nobility, Eden von Randisha, Seaton said. In fact, she is the Crown Prince's one and only competitor and political enemy. That's because aside from the Emperor, they are the only two members of the Imperial family, Seaton said. Did you not know about any of this? Renee said. For good reason, she thought. I was actually dying and fighting in a whole different genre before being cast into this novel, Renee said. In any case, this is quite a tricky situation, Seaton asked. Why is that? Renee said. If I'm going to prove my innocence, I'll have to find the saint and show everyone that she's still alive. But this girl escaped because she feared for her survival. I feel bad about bringing her back. Well, I guess I have myself to worry about first, Seaton asked. My lady, she replied, looking at me like that. I'm not as good of a person as you might think, Seaton replied. I don't understand how all those terrible rumors about you began. I shall go and fix them at once, she said. Whatever the situation is, I'm here to prove my innocence. But it looks like the problem is the Crown Prince, so we'll have to deal with him first, Renee said. It's not that hard. I'm just gonna meet him in person and deal with him then, Seaton said. But the Crown Prince will refuse to listen to you, Renee asked. Who said I expected him to listen? I think actions speak louder than words, Seaton asked. I knew it. You're thinking of using your powers. The Crown Prince will be no match for your ladyship, so I think it is a good idea, Renee said. That's not what I'm saying. What do you think I am? I'm going to threaten him, but I wouldn't be endangering him. Anyway, I'll have to meet with him first to do anything, but like you said, he will probably ignore me and anything I have to say. Still, if I barge into the palace, things will get even more complicated. Still, I have to take a look at this bastard who had the gall to suspect me with nothing but speculation as proof, Renee asked. Seaton, do you know how to drag someone out of their house when they refuse to leave? Seaton replied. What? Renee said. All you have to do is burn down their house. I'll send sparks flying while I'm at it. My lady, may I ask you a question? Sure, Seaton asked. Why are you taking me to your manor? Renee thought, what do you think? It's for the quest, of course. Those two question marks next to the change in relationship bother me. What improvement could there be? Renee asked. I want to get to know you better, Seaton replied. You do? My lady, I don't want you to feel pressured about having to teach me. I am already learning so much just by staying next to you, Renee said. Do you think I would ever feel pressured by you? You are thoroughly mistaken. If you want to know how things will play out, it would be much faster for you to be by my side, Seaton said. I see. Still, perhaps it might be better for me to not accompany you at all, Renee said. Why? Seaton replied. You are the only daughter of the only duke in all the empire. Compared to that, I am but a lowly commoner. Taking me home with you, that alone will tarnish your ladyship's reputation, Renee said. What are you talking about? Taking me home with you, that alone will tarnish your ladyship's reputation. What are you talking about? Seaton asked. The nobility don't take kindly to sword masters of common origin. This is even more true for House Marquis, a renowned family of swordsmen. He's just a lowly commoner. How arrogant. He thinks he's equal to nobles just because he can wield a sword. I refused the title of a marquis and remained a knight because I didn't want to associate with them, Seaton said. But in any case, it seems like the nobles always want to brand me as a commoner. I'm sure it's not simply because he went from rags to riches. They want to do whatever they can to weaken him because they fear that he might take power someday. Renee said, I guess you can't hide human nature. It's a story I'm familiar with as well. Many feared me for my powers, and though they were in awe, they also wanted to see my demise. Some tried to manipulate me through flattery, while others betrayed me to take my prestige. In this world, that role belongs to Seaton, not me, Renee thought, but he's worried for nothing. Didn't he see how the priests shunned me? They never said that. I actually worried that his reputation might be harmed if he's spotted with a villainess like me, but Seaton's considered highly enough to make such concerns seem. Before they left, Seaton said, The preparations are complete, Renee replied. Good. Now let's go to my place. What? Seaton asked. A man muttered. Seaton Ansirad is treating her with the utmost respect, Seaton thought. How could he be so mistaken? Unlike me, people only fear him for his greatness. Look at him sighing over here. How could he think that he would tarnish my reputation? Wouldn't it be the other way around? Renee asked. Seaton, don't they call you the light of the empire? Seaton replied. It's embarrassing but true. I wasn't going to mention anything, but we do need to get close. So, as someone who's gone through something similar, I'll give him some life advice and settle the situation, Renee said. I am a noble known as the shame of House Marquis, yet you are a commoner who is called the light of the empire. I'm sure you already know why they want to tear you down. Well, Seaton hesitated. Renee continued, I know you're sick and tired of it, but don't just hide away. Keep your head up high. You don't have to worry about what anybody thinks. Only little brats act like they're all high and mighty, so wipe that frown off your face. You're going to give yourself wrinkles. Besides, you have to help me from now on, so there's no time to worry about the people who don't like you and whom you don't like. Trust in your own honor and live the way you want, even if they hate it. Be confident in yourself, just like I was back then, Seaton thought. For some reason, I think the tedious boredom I felt is finally being lifted. Also, you're my guest right now. If you don't act bold, that's going to put me on the spot. My brother is the most naggy person you will ever meet, so don't look suspicious. Are you even listening? Yes. I knew I made the right choice by deciding to serve her. I was finishing off my lecture when, Auntie, thinking, we just had Tio run into my brothers as soon as we got home. So annoying, Renee asked Auntie. Seaton has agreed Tio help me for a while, so don't cause him any trouble, telling them the truth except for the fact that he's her pupil. Renee Marcius, he said. Have you forgotten that you are a duke's daughter? Not only did you come home at this time of night, but you also had to bring a man, thinking, oh dear, I saw this coming, Renee said. UGH. Weren't you listening? Andy said. UGH? Don't you hug me. I thought I told you to mind your tone when you, Renee asked. What? Look who's talking, Renee said. What kind of heir to a duchy spends all day crying about what he doesn't like? What are you, a baby chick, eh, chick? Auntie exclaimed. I've never met such a foul-mouthed lady. You make it sound like I actually get treated like a noble. You think it's enough to just give me these fancy clothes? Renee said. Those girls make it a habit to disrespect me all the time, and my brothers can't seem to get enough of tearing their one and only sister to shreds. So what if I'm a noble lady? Start by treating me like a human being, Renee Marcius. You can fight it all you want, but you can't change the fact that you are a noble lady. He may be the crown prince's investigator and a sword master, but he's still a commoner. So if you've learned your place, you should go to your room at once. Sure, I understand. Seaton here is one of only 2 sword masters in the Empire, and you're going on about his status? If you have time to worry about that, you should hit the books and make something of yourself, Renee said. A guest like him should be welcomed with open arms. All the swordsmen in this awful family must be nothing but airheads, we were scolded. By our family's troublemaker, Kirill. Airheads? What's that? Andy Marcius said. Even so, do you think you're in any position to bring a guest right now? I sent you out to prove your innocence, yet you've forgotten your place and brought home a man? Renee asked. What do you want me to do about it, dummy? You told me to prove my innocence, so I brought the person who could clear my name. If you're not going to help, just shut your mouth and stay put, Renee Marcius said. What do you think, kiddo? This is what you call the gift of gab that comes with age. The Queen of Waves and Healing finds the little chick quite cute. The ruler of temptation is designing a hell for him. The ruthless blood leader clicks his tongue and says the chick hasn't learned his manners. Renee asked. Are you done now? I'm off. Let's go, Seaton, Andy asked. You better stop right there, Renee replied. HMPH. No. I'm busy with my guest. Stop bothering me and get ready to read tomorrow morning's daters. After that, I will gladly engage in conversation, Guy asked. Read the stop ignoring me, Kirill said. Auntie, you lost. I've never seen her act so confident before, Andy said. Do you actually believe her, Kirill? Kirill replied. She may be insane, but if the mercenary king is willing to help her, don't you think that says something? Also, if it turns out she's innocent, that would be good for our family too. I know that already. And that's what makes me even more anxious. Andy Marcius, thinking, if what Renee is saying is true, and we no longer have a prime suspect, then what can I do to find you, Leanne? The next morning, Renee still sleeping. UGH. The sun is so bright. Was the sun always this warm? It's a warmth I had never felt. In that tower, which was filled with monsters and never got a single ray of sunlight. I've finally left that dreadful place, Renee said. Seaton should be up by now. Renee, thinking, I doubt anyone in this manor would have thought to tend to my guest, so I should go and take care of him. Keep your head up high. Yes, ma'am. I gave him a good pep talk, but I think he might still be feeling a little down, Renee asked. It's been a long time since I haven't noticed someone approaching. This may be a bit random, but I have a passive skill that is simultaneously both convenient and uncomfortable. It is called superhuman senses. In the tower, there is no such thing as knocking. I had to keep this skill on at all times because there were monsters everywhere that were constantly trying to attack. But my senses were too sensitive, so I never got to enjoy deep sleep or eat a delicious meal. That's why this skill feels like it will ruin me. However, I turned this skill off after I entered this world, so I only knew that Seaton was approaching because the incubi told me. It's obvious why I turned it off. There's not a person in this world that can harm a hair on my head. The Queen of Waves and Healing is worried and says you shouldn't let down your guard. The ruler of temptation laughs, saying even if you do let down your guard, all you would get is a scratch. Renee asked. Come in, Renee asked. Wow, their affinity is always low. What is it? Maid Erin asked. They want you downstairs. The way they openly show their dislike really bothers me, Renee asked. Who? Where? Maid asked. My lady, do you really not know? Maid Erin asked. How many people do you think would ask for you in this manner? Is there anyone besides Lord Auntie, who's always trying to reprimand you? Renee said. My gosh! What should I do about these people? Maid, do you still not understand your position, my lady? Your ladyship is not just a lady of House Marquis. You're the shame of House Marquis. Maid Erin, you can't wield a sword, and you don't have a good personality, or even a good reputation. All you know is how to look pretty. They really have no problem disrespecting me right to my face. That must mean this has happened more than once. Renee, no matter where you go, there will always be people who think they can do whatever they want as long as they're in a big group. Maid Erin, I was thinking about what I should do with you. Should I buy you over with money or try to reason with you? Renee Marquis. But you know, it seems like power is the strongest currency around here. What could you possibly do anyway? The ones with power are the lords, not you. Maid Erin, I don't think so. You just haven't noticed it. She's thinking, what? I can't. Help. I can't breathe. The maid fell down. Maid, ugh. Ha. Ha. Eek. Eek. Maid, she's dead. Princess Renee Marquis. No, she's just sleeping. The maids are panicking. Maid Erin. Oh no. What was that? Another maid. Forgive us, my lady. Another maid. Please don't kill us. Renee, I'm sick of this. The Queen of Waves and Healing looks at you with encouraging eyes. I talked big to Seaton yesterday, but I was only able to tell him to be bold because I had gone through countless periods of being disdained. When I was weak, I was looked down upon more than anyone. And once I regained my strength, I was already speeding toward death. I had no respite whether I was weak or strong. Princess Marquis Renee, why does everyone act like fools? The ruthless blood leader clicks his tongue, saying they should have gone to his own world, where one cannot guess a person's age based on their looks. Renee, why do you bully the weak when you yourselves are so weak? She's thinking, but if I crush you with my powers, that would also make me. The Queen of Waves and Healing takes your side, saying you don't have to worry about things like that. The ruthless blood leader shakes his head, insisting that you don't have to think about those who make you miserable. The ruler of temptation suggests complete destruction, saying it would be more convenient to get rid of those who bother you. Renee, oh, forget it. I'm fine now. I only felt a little down for a moment. You guys always keep my spirits up. Maid, Renee, oh, right. So where did Auntie say I should meet him? Maid, what? Oh, his lordship said you should go down to the dining room. Oh, but first, your ladyship should get ready. Renee, I'm good. I'll get going, so you tend to those girls over there. Maid, huh? Yes, my lady. Renee, once rumors about this start to spread, at least the maids in this house will stop bullying me. Maid, I thought we were going to die. The Queen of Waves and Healing compliments you, saying that it was a peaceful solution compared to what you would have done in your past life. Renee, of course. I handled it far more generously than I would have in my past. Seaton, I see the stray cat is here. Renee, Seaton, I couldn't help but come here when I felt a dangerous energy. Renee, oh, you felt that? She's thinking, he must be on a whole other level than Auntie and Kirill. Seaton, are you all right? Renee, why wouldn't I be? More importantly, are you going to blame me too? Do you think I was too harsh on people without powers? Seaton, why would I blame you? Renee, well, everyone here seems to think everything's my fault. Seaton, my lady, is this how they've been treating you all this time? Renee, I suppose. Well, I'm fine now. Auntie is calling for us, so let's go to him. Seaton, yes, my lady. Auntie, explain yourself. Renee Marquis, Father Etna Dippets, age 23, alias, claimed. I couldn't stop Her Holiness from running away in the middle of the night. He also testified that Saint Leanne said in her sleep that she must flee from the Crown Prince, hinting at the possibility of a dark secret. As the last person to see Saint Leanne before her disappearance, he was forced by the Crown Prince to give a false testimony. Lady Renee Marquis, originally considered the prime suspect, professed doubts about the Crown Prince, who had concealed the witness and framed her. Renee, oh, be quiet. What more do you want me to explain, Auntie? I'm talking about this article. Renee, what about it? Don't you know how to read? Do you need me to read it for you? Auntie, why you? Seaton, my lord, please stay calm. Renee, right, stop huffing and puffing like a barbarian. Auntie, how dare you raise doubts about the Crown Prince's innocence? Did you even think about what kind of problems you'd be making for the family? What about Father, who's still at the palace? Renee, Auntie, she suddenly holds out something. Renee, open wide. You seem irritable because you're hungry, so why don't you take the first bite? Auntie, I don't want to. Renee, I told you I was going to prove my innocence. Didn't you see the priest's testimony? I did play around with his name a little, but he wasn't lying. Auntie, is his testimony credible? Seaton, we can't be certain, my lord, but there ought to be a reason why the Crown Prince tried to cover it up. Auntie, how strange. Didn't you say that you are investigating the case under the Crown Prince's orders? It sounds to me like you have turned your back on His Highness. Seaton, I have not pledged allegiance to the Crown Prince. I am working on this case as a knight of the Empire who has been ordered to expose the truth. Auntie, you call revealing evidence to my sister a suspect, working on the investigation? Seaton, what a strange thing to say. Do you find it uncomfortable that I, a commoner, am helping your lordship's sister? Or are you worried that her ladyship will be released from the charges? She's thinking, ooh, Seaton's doing well. Auntie, I didn't even realize that you two knew each other. Seaton, of course you didn't, because we didn't. Auntie, then why? Seaton, I was hoping we could become better acquainted from now on. She's thinking, oh dear. You're just embarrassing me. Renee, all right, now it's your turn. Auntie, my turn? Renee, it's time for you to apologize. Now. Did you forget how you offended my guest last night? He may be the Crown Prince's investigator and a sword master, but he's still a commoner. Auntie asked. Sir Seaton, I committed an error, Seaton said. I don't need an apology, my lord, but there is someone else who does, Renee said. That's right. You should apologize to me too, Auntie replied. HMPH. Why? You were rude to me too. You yelled at me like some gorilla, Auntie said. Gorilla. I may have been rude, but so were you, Renee. Thanks to you, we have been branded as the family that killed the saint, Renee asked. But I told you I'm being falsely accused. I even found a witness. Why do you have to be so stubborn? Auntie said. You were named a suspect because of how you've been carrying yourself. Moreover, you don't have any real evidence proving that the things in this article are true. I will apologize once you bring me something more concrete. The ruthless blood leader gnashes his teeth, saying he'll turn that bastard into a hopping zombie. The Queen of Waves and Healing quietly gets ready to boil some water. The ruler of temptation prepares a magic circle to summon the Demon King. Renee, thinking, he's right about that, but it still makes me mad. When is this stupid quest going to be over? Renee asked. Are we done eating and talking now? Someone's about to barge in, you see, the Queen of Waves and Healing says. The guest has arrived at the manor, Auntie asked. What? Did you invite someone else? Renee said. No, he came on his own. I guess you could call him an uninvited guest. An uninvited guest. What do you mean, Seaton? I apologize, my lord. I have some urgent news, Auntie shouted. Renee! What have you done? Seaton asked. Are you expecting anyone besides me? Renee muttered. He's got such a temper, Auntie asked. Yes, it's someone you know quite well. Garden passage of Marcius Manor. The ruthless blood leader grumbles about there being too many handsome men in this world. The Queen of Waves and Healing smiles contentedly. The ruler of temptation rips open a bag of popcorn cooked in hellfire at the coming of Seaton's romantic rival. Renee, thinking, wait, why is he a romantic rival? Be careful of your word choice. Well, in any case, it looks like we're finally meeting, Auntie asked. Lady Renee Marcius, the Crown Prince of the Ramdisha Empire, and the real Renee's love interest, Isire von Ramdisha, Renee asked. Greetings, Your Highness. It's my first time seeing him, but I can feel it already. I can sense that the system will keep on trying to entangle us together. She thought, what? All I did was say hello, and his affinity dropped. The hell? Isire, thinking, if you're not going to receive my welcome, then at least reject it. This is so awkward, Andy said. What brings you here, Your Highness? You sent no prior word. She thought, nice, Andy, Isire asked. Something isn't right, Andy asked. What? You're not even trying to hide the fact that you've changed, Isire said. Who are you? Renee asked. Get your hands off me. Stop trying to push my buttons, do what you need to do, and be on your way. I'm sure you have something to discuss. Didn't they say he's the strongest man in the Empire? Even so, he's no match for me. That doesn't matter anymore, Isire said. Finally, I am absolutely certain that you are the culprit. She thought, he's boosting his powers. This is going to be too much for the others to handle. What should I do? Renee asked. I'm not trying to stress it. Shouldn't that be a given no matter what? Isn't family supposed to be there for one another? Auntie asked. Your Highness, I don't think it's appropriate to exert this kind of power in front of a lady who hasn't even learned how to wield a sword, she thought, Auntie. Then asked, is he trying to protect me? But look, he's trembling. Renee, Isire said, she's never learned how to wield a sword? Yet she's still standing on her own 2 feet. When Leanne disappeared, the report stated that there was no trace of Lady Renee, the main suspect, at the scene of the crime. I couldn't prove she was the perpetrator then, but if she has these powers, that explains everything. Tell me, where is Leanne? Renee replied. That has nothing to do with me, Isire said. You expect me to believe that? She replied. I'd like to ask you the same question. What have you done to the saint? Isire asked. How dare you accuse? She asked. Also, are you about to draw your sword? She continued. Oh, don't tell me. Is our great sword master afraid of a mere civilian? Isire commanded. Move aside, Seaton, Seaton replied. I cannot. I don't believe her ladyship is the culprit, she asked. Are you taking her side? Isire answered. I'm not taking anyone's side. No one in this empire hates Leanne more than she does, Isire continued. Now Leanne has gone missing, and Lady Renee Marcius clearly has the power to make that happen. What more do I need to say? Seaton pleaded. I understand, but please calm down and try to talk this through, Your Highness. If someone with her powers wanted to kill Her Holiness, there would have been a much easier way to do so, Isire. Ugh, Seaton said. Your Highness, if you really want to find Her Holiness, you must work together. Renee thought, how anticlimactic. I was going to punch him if Seaton didn't get in the way. The ruthless blood leader is disappointed, saying this man carries his sword around for show. The ruler of temptation asks if the prince wouldn't die if she hit him. Renee, thinking, of course, I was going to control my powers. What do you take me for? Isire said. You have raised suspicions about me, Lady Renee. What do you have to say to that? Renee responded. You're the one who covered up the witness account first. Because of that, everyone's been saying I'm the culprit, and I was even locked up for it. I hope you understand that I acted out of desperation. Though, I'm not sorry. Let's see. It looks like this is going to take some time, so why don't we move over there? Andy asked. Renee, why are they saying you have powers? Renee replied. We'll be right there, Seaton responded. Yes, my lady, Auntie, thinking, he may have stopped the Crown Prince for me, but his affinity is the same. With a negative affinity score, I know he's not going to believe me, Renee said. It doesn't concern you, Auntie asked. I'm your brother. I have a right to know what's going on with my sister, she asked. A right to know? It's not like we were ever that close to begin with. I'm sorry, Auntie. I don't think you deserve to know. You should have stood up for the real Renee when you had the chance, Iser said. Are you a magic swordsman? Sidon replied. I got to see her ladyship's powers in action, Renee asked. Is that even important right now? Didn't you come here to make me take down that article? Iser said. This may be equally important. Just answer my question. What are those powers you possess? Have you really sold your soul to the devil? Renee answered. Yes. I have sold my soul. This happened after I died and came back to life 58 times, Iser said. You think this is the time to be making jokes, she thought. I'm telling him the truth, and he's still throwing a fit, Iser said. How many types of magic can you use? You must be quite good with a sword too, to be able to withstand my aura. Just how? Renee asked. Excuse me. Do I really have to answer every question, Your Highness? You seem to have misunderstood. Just because we share the goal of finding the saint does not make me your underling, Iser asked. Fine. I will not ask any more about your powers, but I will ask this, Iser asked. Why have you been hiding this strength? If people knew you were a magic swordsman, you would have been treated much better. You could have become the heir to your duchy or even received a title to establish a new noble house. You didn't need to be the shame of Marcius, Renee thought. Yes, he sang. I've been called that because I'm weak. Under the survival of the fittest, the strong consume and rule over the weak. According to the ruler of temptation, this world is consumed by this concept. Monsters were the first masters of this continent. They multiplied faster than humans could and possessed greater strength. However, humans were more clever. They worked together to drive out the monsters, build city walls, and establish nations. Monsters were pushed behind the borders drawn by the humans and lost their dominion over the continent. That is how the era of humans began and saw a revival. Humans began to wield their swords against each other over their resources now that they were no longer under threat. They hunted monsters and waged war against other humans. Ramdisha was an empire that had built itself up by striving for the values of the survival of the fittest. It's a world rife with war and competition. The fact that this family has gone mad over power, the way that the crown prince is focusing on the appearance of a strong rival rather than the disappearance of his fiancée, and the reality of a young lady being treated as the shame of her family just for being weak. These things happen because of the bizarre nature of this world, she asked. You're right, Renee asked. If I had let my powers be known, I could have gone after the position of the heir of House Marcius, or I could have gotten a new title entirely, Iser asked. I wouldn't have had to bear all that ridicule, Renee asked. However, I'm not interested in any of that. So what if I become an heir to the duchy? Becoming the head of a new noble house would be so tedious. Power, honor, and all that. It's nothing but exhausting, Renee said. Also, I have no interest in getting special treatment from those who don't know how to value people based on anything other than power. People disrespected me, ignored me, and despised me like I wasn't even human, and now that I seem more useful and powerful, they suddenly want to treat me differently? It makes me sick, that's it? My lady, you're being naive, like you don't know the ways of the world. You can't seem to hide your disappointment. So what if I had revealed my abilities? Would you have gotten engaged with me instead of the saint so you could use me? Are you mad? Then it must be true, Iser asked. Sidon, Renee asked. Please don't blame it on him. He hasn't pledged allegiance to you anyway, Renee asked. Also, I have no interest in knowing what was between you and Leanne. What's most important to me is proving my innocence. So let's get this thing done and over with, all right? Renee said. Let's focus. Whether I'm strong or not is not the point. I want you to officially state that I am not the culprit. If you do, then I will take down my article, she thought. The simplest way to clear my name of murder is to have someone with more authority vouch for me, Iser thought. Someone like this stupid crown prince. Are you really innocent? Renee asked. I would like to ask you the same thing, Iser said. I would be insane to kill Leanne. She's my fiancée. Why would I kill the future empress? Renee replied. I can think of a good reason. She wanted to leave you. I get why the crown prince finds me suspicious. Considering my prior record, he probably wants to keep me locked up, just in case. But if he purposely framed me after committing the crime himself, I'd never associate with the likes of him. The article I published was a counterattack. I had to prove I was innocent, while suggesting the crown prince was a suspect too. I'm going to show you that I'm innocent, one step at a time, so go ahead and reveal your true colors, oh, noble crown prince.